Catherine Goshen, a professional astrologer from the village of Nyack in New York State, and I'm passionate about in-depth astrology and getting to the heart of the matter. In this video, I want to talk about Aquarius Sun and Rising for 2023. So welcome here, Aquarius. Let's look at the overview energies for 2023. One of the most important shifts I'm seeing is around early March, when your ruling planet Saturn is going to shift signs. Why is that important for you? Because since around April of 2020, Saturn has been traveling through your sign Aquarius. So if your sun is in Aquarius, during the last 2.5 years, you would have felt an increase in responsibility, an increase in work of some kind. For those of you with Aquarius ascendants, you would have started a new 7-year cycle, and you would have definitively felt that at some point during the last 2.5 years. As 2023 gets underway, Saturn will be traveling through those final degrees of Aquarius. So those of you that have late birthdays in Aquarius, around February 13th to 18th or so, you're really going to feel that energy of Saturn on your sun, asking you to complete something that you've been working hard on. You're going to know what I'm talking about, and you're going to feel that push. So I'm encouraging all of you, whether Aquarius Sun or Rising, whether early or late Aquarius, finish off whatever feels important as a theme from April 2020 before March 7 or so, when Saturn is going to make that shift into Pisces and leave your sign for another 29 years. You will know what I'm talking about in terms of a responsibility you have to fulfill, some paperwork you have to complete, something at work that needs to be done, or in your personal relationships. So you've got the first 3 months of 2023 to sort that out, and then there will be a new energy beginning. The other very positive thing I'm seeing for 2023 is that you're continuing on this thirst, this yearning to study more, to expand your consciousness, to expand your mind. Since around July of 2022, you've had Jupiter, planet of expansion, traveling through your house of learning. And it's been encouraging you to broaden your horizons. It's going to be there all the way through until May of 2023. So if you haven't listened to your intuition yet and begun something new, I really encourage you to do so. If you don't have the opportunity to study, or it doesn't feel relevant, we could be talking about increased joy or increased energy around your siblings. There might have been some things there that you've had to sort out. And we could also be talking about an increase in travel. Not so much long distance travel necessarily, but possibly local travel, or an expansion in this area. Maybe something positive has come in for you, and there are solutions to your travel issues. Whatever the case, you continue on with that theme in the first 5 months of 2023. And then for the second half of the year, Jupiter, that planet of expansion, is going to move into your home. I'm hoping that it suggests increased joy in the home, possibly someone coming into the home, or possibly an upgrade, maybe some new furniture, maybe some new comfort. Basically an increased joy in the living space. Something practical looks like it could shift in that area, and I wish you all the best with that. If it's not related to your physical home, we may be talking about a parent here. Maybe a parent needs more attention, or we could simply be talking about something falling away and something new that is important beginning in your life. And the third overview energy that I'm seeing for 2023 is that you're continuing on with this increased individuation process. What does it mean to be yourself? What struggles and obstacles do you have to overcome in order to live an authentic life? You've been feeling that push for a long while now as Uranus, bringer of change, bringer of spiritual shifts, has been energizing your sun and pushing you to make changes. Sometimes these are painful because they force us to change when we may not feel emotionally ready for it. The positive side, though, is that Uranus is called the awakener. Without that energy coming to us every few years, we would not be forced to develop and to push forward into our own individuation. In particular, those of you that are born between February 5th and February the 13th this year are going to feel that push from this outer planet. So the best way to work with Uranus energies is to embrace change. The more you try to fight it, the harder it is. And for many of you, that is not hard to embrace change. So I invite you, all Aquarius rising, to continue to be open to the new things that come into your life. Aquarius, when I do give dates in this forecast, please take a day on either side, sometimes a few days, especially if we're talking about slower moving planets like Saturn, because these adjustments take time, and there is a philosophy in astrology of gradualism. Change doesn't happen overnight usually, and you know that from your own life experience. Big changes in your life usually take 1 to 2 years, and it's seldom that we move house or commit to a new relationship overnight. So bear that in mind when you're listening to this forecast. Now the year begins for you on a very positive note, because on January 2nd, you have Venus, planet of love, planet of beauty, flowers, chocolate, moving into your sign. And she'll be there until the end of the month. So make the most of that. It could be a romantic time. It could be a wonderful time to spend time with your children, because this is reinforced. You've got action planet moving through a part of your chart which also deals with leisure, creativity, children, and relaxation. So kick back a little in January, and if you can, defer part of your workload until after the 18th or so. You're going to feel things start to speed up after the 13th or 14th of January, and slowly build up so that you can get back to work. The sun moves into your sign on the 21st, so happy birthday to you, Aquarius, and it's followed very shortly by a new moon in your sign. So what a beautiful way to celebrate your birthday if you are born on January 21st, day or two on either side. You're going to be in that new moon energy, in that energy of setting intentions, beginning the year strongly. February 2nd sees potential breakthroughs, and there's a beautiful full moon on February 5th, and that is in your house of relationships. So there could be breakthroughs around relationships at that time, early February, and there could also simply be an emphasis on a long-term partner. Sometimes this may even be an ex-partner, so it's good to be aware of it, and also to note that the day or so before the full moon can feel like an intense build-up of energy. So we might want to be aware of that and be mindful not to simply lose our temper, lose our cool, but to hold the energy and see what comes up after the full moon as the emotional energy dissipates a little. There's a lovely energy for work around February 16th. So if you have had a project that's been lagging behind, that you've been struggling to put some discipline into, use that week to help you to get ahead, to put down your foundation and to really get something done. There are very positive energies about to help you with that. There's also a very good 3-week period or so between February 11th and March 3rd, where mindset planet Mercury will be traveling through your sign. So this generally tends to make you feel clear, competent. It's a good time for writing and signing contracts. Maybe a good time for you to buy a car or look into leasing a car. It's also a good time for you to simply work on any kind of relationships which have had poor communication in the past. March is a really lovely month in terms of education or local travel or hooking up with your family. There has been a lot of energy building around there, and then you get the first of 2 new moons around that March 21st. In that area of your chart that is to do with your siblings, to do with learning, or to do with local neighborhood, local community, or just taking a short trip or two. And it's very unusual to have 2 new moons in the same sign, and that's the area of your chart where they will be taking place. First one around March 21st and the second one around April 20th. And in between there, you're going to have a full moon around April 6th in your house of higher learning, of overseas travel, of all those areas that are more expansive. So when that polarity is being activated, it highlights learning, it highlights bringing something new into your life. So if you do have an opportunity to travel for work during that time, take it. Or to become involved in community matters more in your local neighborhood, or simply to reconnect with brothers or sisters and to possibly help them out with issues they may be having. There's a whole lot of other energy around April as well, which is focused on your health and wellness. So around the end of March, 26, 27 March, you're going to feel a shift, a big shift away from an area of your chart that has been dealing very strongly with issues around children or issues around romance or something at work around investing, speculation. Whatever the case, there's something you've been dealing with very strongly since September 2022. And after March 2023, it suddenly resolves and time is freed up and you focus this time on your health and wellness. Finally, you can get to the doctor and the dentist for those well visits, those checkups that you've been putting off. And you also have the opportunity to increase your exercise program or to tweak it so that it is more conducive to what you need at that time. Also pay attention to diet. April 22nd to May 15. Don't worry if you're experiencing a little bit of tension between home and work. Looks like there's certain adjustments going on at home between around May 5th to May 15. And at the same time, you're going to have a full moon in your house of work, and that will be around May 5th. Don't worry if things are tense between home and work and you feel like you're juggling a lot at that time. It's going to pass very quickly, and a full moon in the house of work simply asks you to see what is coming to fruition at this time. Have I completed some kind of cycle at work, and am I ready to start a new cycle in terms of my career, my vocation, my job? The one suggestion of what not to do during that time until around May 15, May 16 is to sign any serious contracts. May 17 to May 21st marks an important week for you, Aquarius. There's a shift and you will be able to establish some kind of power base if you are mindful at this time. Don't react if things are pushing you to the wall. Rather, take a moment to step back and analyze the problem. What is needed now? If you are patient and careful, this can be an incredibly important time for furthering yourself and establishing something that is going to set you up for the next few years. So pay attention at that time. If it's not in the area of your work, it could be in the area of relationships or even in the home. Interestingly, there will be an emphasis on your house of relationships all the way through until September. And there's some weeks that are very positive here, and there are other weeks where the universe is asking us to rework something and to pause, so not to go gung-ho ahead into a new relationship. So let's look a little bit more closely at those dates. Some very, very good dates for meeting someone new, for starting something new, for being open to commitment would be around early June to the 20th. Then after that phase, there's going to be this reworking period, and that will be from July 23rd until around September 5th. So most of August, not such a favored time for starting a new romance or investing in anything new. Be cautious if you are doing financial dealings in August. However, the early part of June is favored for investments, for love, and July is a bit of a mixed bag. There's going to see an interesting shift in the middle of July where your focus turns from your own resources and your relationship more towards your partner's resources and relationship. So there is an emphasis on finances that are joint or shared at that time. If you're not in a partnership, we could be referring to your sense that you need to go more deeply into your own psychology. Maybe you decide to take therapy at that time. Or we could simply be seeing that you are working on a business venture with somebody and you're discussing how to sort out the financial basis of your project. Whatever the case, mainly in August, there's a strong energy about for pulling back a little and reworking things that might need adjustments, whether they're romantic or financial. Then after September 5th, we get a more forward-moving energy again. You might want to wait until mid-September before you sign the deal off on that new business venture or that car. And the rest of September and early October is very favorable once again for enlightening yourself, expanding your mind. Aquarius, you love to study, and it seems as if there are opportunities that are coming in now to do this, even if it's simply taking on an extra role at work where you have to teach or share or consult. Whatever the case, please use these opportunities to broaden your mind. The whole of September looks favorable for that, especially the second part. In the second part of September and on into October, overseas or foreign travel is also favored. And if it's not travel per se, it might be working on the internet with people in other countries, connecting, sharing, getting together and doing some group work. So please post your comments below. I would love to hear how this manifests in particular for you. We mentioned earlier how October was going to be all systems go for work. And that's certainly the case after October 13th, when Action Planet Mars is going to move into that house of career for you. Mars will be very strong at that time, and it will be encouraging you to get some of your finest work done for the year. There is always a sense that there is a tremendous push for you at this time of year, and you're going to feel that energy until around November 25th, when Mars will switch signs again and go into a more relaxed place of your chart, encouraging you to connect with friends, to connect with loved ones, to hang out together, and hopefully to receive some of the rewards from work that you've been putting in since October. The other interesting developments in October that make it so potent energetically is there will be a couple of eclipses at that time. So there's going to be a new moon solar eclipse on around October 14th and a full moon lunar eclipse on the 28th. That lunar eclipse is going to take place again in the area of your home. So bringing something to the light. There might be shifts at that time. Children might be coming and going from college. You might have visitors coming and going. Whatever the case, the home is energized, and what takes place at those eclipses and during that month of October continues on until the next set of eclipses, which will only be in 2024. So pay attention to the house of the home. If not the home, it could be a parent, it could be something new beginning for you, something to do with the roots of your family, your heritage. So look into that and see how these symbols are coming to life for you, Aquarius. As the year winds to a close, we have that house of relaxation activated. You're seeing friends, hopefully kicking back a little. There's also a wonderful suggestion that you shouldn't get too active on the first day of January 2024, because Mars is only going to move into a new sign around January 5th. So relax for the first few days of the year and wait and see what energies are bringing you in 2024. If you found anything helpful in this video at all, please like and subscribe. It helps me to grow my channel, and I'm wishing you all the best until next time.